Oh boy, we're going live a little bit early. I was hoping, Dakota would make it back. He ran into some issues. Just let y'all know. So he might be here, he might not. We'll see. He might make it. If he does, then we'll fit him in and we'll get the party going. But anyway, if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. And if you've already subscribed, then welcome to the family. Welcome to JJ's PC Builds, and also to my veteran subscribers. As always, much love to you for all that you do. And, watching videos beginning to end, and you know the drill. So, this is episode 2. Just let you know, episode 2. Right here on JJ's PC Builds. We have something cooking for you today. I was hoping, that Dakota would have been here. That way we could have had everything going on. But, it's okay. He'll be here next week. You know how the drill goes. And I'll just let everybody know that I'm on the air. I'm on the air. So, this way everybody knows in Discord we're online. Okay. Hopefully everybody can see everything that's going on. I'm gonna give them like a couple more minutes and stuff. Y'all just make sure you got your drink and snacks. Okay, make sure you got your drink and snacks. No, I do. So, and we'll wake up the crowd and see if we can get something going. Maybe we'll hit like a air horn. That wake everybody up. Let me see if I can get it in there again. Everybody awake? There we go. Just checking to make sure if everybody's awake. Do remember, the chat is open to everybody. If you want to, if you got a question or anything else. Hey, Arkeem, good to see you. Good to see you. I don't think Dakota's going to be able to make it because he ran into some issues, personal issues on his side. So, but if he does make it, we'll get him in here. I have it all set up, ready to go. It's like, drum roll, please. Let's do the drum roll. But anyway, I figure a little sound effects for y'all so that way y'all can tell everybody to come on down and get the party started. But anyway, today, yeah, I know it's okay. It's okay. Today I got some stuff cooking today. So definitely some stuff to be talking about while we wait on Dakota to come in here. So, but today we're going to get the party started with a little bit of AMD. Oh my God, AMD. I don't know if y'all heard, the news has been going around, but I don't see too many people talking about it. But the AMD Anti-Lag Plus, the ones for the Radeon RX 7000 series. Oh. Okay, well, I'm glad you came in to stop by to say hi. And don't forget, I did subscribe to your channel. Arcane, just to let you know, I did subscribe to your channel. Yeah, that's the thing I'm going to be talking about. Thank you, appreciate it. That's what I'm going to be talking about right now. Counter-Strike 2. It seems that, this is what's told to me. Okay, I'm gonna give you all the story. We're gonna go ahead and go through that real quick. This is what I've been told. Enabling AMD Anti-Lag Plus in Counter-Strike 2 will get you banned. Just let you know that if you didn't know that, and now you do know that. So if you go to use your 7000 series GPU, Counter-Strike 2 might ban you temporarily until AMD gets it fixed. But with the release of the AMD software, oh, you're welcome, by the way, Arcane, you're welcome. With the release of AMD software, Adrenaline version 2310.1, the WHQL, AMD has added anti-lag plus support for Counter-Strike 2, but it appears that this will result in a VAC, and VAC meaning Valve Anti-Cheat Ban. So this is Valve Anti-Cheat Ban. If y'all didn't know that, but now you do. Apparently, the Anti-Lag Plus features is implemented by detouring engine DLL functions, and any tampering with CS codes will result in a VAC ban, which is Valve Anti-Cheat Ban. That's what they said. VAC is Valve Anti-Cheat. Just so that way we can move on. Valve was keen to note that once AMD ships an update, it will work on identifying affected users and reversing the ban. So that's good to know that they're willing to reverse the ban, you know. So it's like a temporary thing. If you got an is and you know this, but anyway, let's just move on. Luckily, the anti-lag technology only works on Radeon RX 7000 series RDNA 3 graphics cards. So it could be a limited number of Counter-Strike 2 players. The issue comes as a surprise considering that Anti-Lag Plus has already been implemented in various games, including the competitive ones like Apex Legends, PUBG, Battlegrounds, Fortnite, and others, and only has issues with Counter-Strike 2 and its VAC system. Hopefully, AMD will fix the issue pretty soon, and we will keep an eye out for an update, which is true. We will keep an eye out for an update, and when it comes down to it, they're saying now, this is what Valve is saying. They are saying to the CS2 players, do not enable anti-lag plus on your RX 7000 series graphics cards. If you do playing CS2, Counter-Strike 2, you will be under a temporary ban until AMD puts out a fix for this problem. That's how they're rolling. And what they did is they sent AMD a message on Twitter stating that, you know, they got a goof in their update, so they need to fix it. So it all depends on if AMD is going to fix it or if they're not going to fix it. Okay, I just wanted to bring that really carefully to y'all because I don't want to say the wrong things and then it becomes the wrong things. I want to make sure I'm getting the right things down to you and letting you know. If, you know, I know it pretty much stinks that, you know, you buy an AMD graphics card and then they update you to the next new set of software and driver series, that this becomes like a cheat kind of thing for, you know, your graphics cards to cheat on, which I don't get what you're cheating on. Are you cheating on your points or the FPS, or, you know, that's what Valve never put out there. Does it give you more FPS? What does it do for the AMD graphics cards that makes it a cheat? I can see if it improves playability, but as long as it's not adding to your points, I don't see why it would be a cheat. Truthfully, I wouldn't see why it would be a cheat because they do have, you know, and from what I heard, that NVIDIA doesn't seem to have this problem is because NVIDIA put all their cards down on the table to Valve. So NVIDIA is not in this boat, you know, with the Reflect and DLSS 3 and all that sorts of good stuff. NVIDIA is not in this problem. AMD is, because AMD just shoved it out. And then what happened is Valve got kind of testy about it. And, it just didn't turn out the way everybody thought it would turn out. You know, I'm sitting there thinking about this, everybody's sitting there praising, the AMD cards for all they do and everything else. But the one thing they missed was that with AMD, they kind of jumped the gun a little bit on some things. And then turns out that it doesn't seem to be turning out that way. Just like they said the 7900 XTX was going to be the next best thing compared to the 4090. And then it took a whole year? I think about a whole year for it to catch up to the 4090. And everybody was waiting, and then everybody sold their 7900 XTXs. Not saying everybody, but some sold their 7900 XTX and then turned around, got an NVIDIA RTX 4090, and then, it started to shift to the other side. So everybody sold their 4090, went back to the 7900 XTX, and so on and so forth. Because, they said NVIDIA has a burning problem and it still catches on fire like usual. But they do have a new connector. Just to let you know, NVIDIA does have a new connector, but that's for a whole different talking point. Right now, the talking point we're dealing with, and, in my opinion, talking point we're dealing with is CS, Counter-Strike 2. It used to be CSGO. Now it's Counter-Strike 2. They kind of upgraded from CSGO to Counter-Strike 2. So if you didn't know, that's what it is. But from what they're saying, Valve is that, AMD stepped on their toes a little bit and they should have forwarded, something to Valve so that way Valve can catch up everything that's going on with AMD. And AMD didn't follow up with Valve. And that's the reason why this is all about right now. Big talking point that everybody's not talking about, they should be talking about, is why did AMD jump the gun? Just like when they put out the 7600, they jumped the gun. Then they had to lower the price on it the first day. So, it still comes to that fact. AMD keeps jumping the gun. They're trying to get themselves ahead of the curve with NVIDIA. They're trying to keep in a competitive spirit, but what they're doing is they're actually making themselves look bad. Every time they come out with something good, they jump too far because they didn't follow through with everything. Consistency is what everybody goes for. And I want AMD to understand that. You got to be consistent. You have to be consistent with whatever you do. And just right now, it's even with the game makers, you're not being consistent. What do you call it? The Battlefield whatever? Everybody's sitting there saying they have problems with that too. They can't get their AMD graphics card to work correctly. It shuts down on them half the times. I don't get it. And then everybody, says something about NVIDIA shutting down and this and that. And you know what? I have the 4070 in my computer. And now, yet, that has never shut down on me yet. Never. I mean, never. So that's something to think about. And that's the reason why I never jumped. I got AMD in my sleeper build. It's the iGPU, but I I haven't turned that on too much just yet. Because if I go to play CS:GO on that, then that means I'm taking out the Adrenaline software. I'll leave the drivers in, but I'll take out the Adrenaline software. If that seems to be what the problem is, I'd rather take out the Adrenaline software, let the display settings on CS2, just control it through CS2. And this way, you won't get banned. Truthfully, I don't see the reasoning for, the Adrenaline software anyway. I mean, I had it on a discrete graphics card before. I've tested it out. I really didn't like how it rolled. Okay. I use MSI Afterburner more than I would have used AMD Adrenaline software. It's just honest truth. To control the GPU on the way it goes. So, understand that. There are alternatives to controlling your graphics card. And, and this is the reason why I really didn't like having, software that, how can I say this? Software that you get from, manufacturers. I'll tell you what, if you get the drivers and they work, then stick with it. But if the newest drivers don't work, then go back to your oldest, your last drivers. Just go backwards. Use the drivers and forget the rest. Because that's all you really need. If you really want to make your gameplay better and take a lot of stress off of your system, then don't add the Adrenaline software. If you're just doing it so that way you can get the anti-lag plus, or whatever little special features they got, don't you think game makers build that special feature into their games already? And don't you think that them game makers disable any of those extra settings that you have when you go into the game? Don't you think they have parameters that enable and disable certain things on your graphics card? Come on. Really? So what would the purpose be if they disabled half of the stuff on there and re-enabled the stuff onto their display settings for their game? So it makes no sense for you to have the software. It's just, to me, it's pointless. And I don't know what you all feel about that. Y'all let me know in the comments on the video. Let me know in the chat what you think about that. But to me, I can tell you this is what they're doing. And how do you think they stop people from cheating? And this is, now they're getting more strict on people that are trying to cheat the games. If you're trying to manipulate the software, they got things that will either get you banned or something like that. So stop cheating the game. Just play the game and be happy with the game. Don't try to cheat the game. It's not helpful to you to cheat the game. So that's one thing I was bringing up today, was about that. So I just want to let all the subscribers and all the people that are watching the video right now to let you know that if you play CS2, do not enable the anti-lag plus. Anything that says anti-lag on it right now, I would not enable it because it might say the plus and it might be for the 7000 series, but you never know. It could roll back to the anti-lag for the older cards. Don't chance it until AMD puts out a press release on it or puts something out there to, to satisfy Valve. And so you don't get your account banned and then you trying to get a hold of AMD and say, hey, look, they're banning me. I need you to fix this and everything else. Don't put yourself in that shoes and cut your game time just because of, a problem. Solve the problem, turn off anti-lag plus until they get it fixed. And then when they get it fixed, then you can leave your remarks to AMD and let them know how good or how bad or whatever they did for them to make you wait and using your product with, the software that was supposed to be cool with all the games and everything else. You can go through that yourself. But I can tell you right now, like I said, with NVIDIA, you're not having that issue because it seems NVIDIA's didn't drop the ball. AMD did, so. And I'm not bashing AMD. Understand this. I'm not bashing AMD. They dropped the ball, and that's all I'm going to say to that. They dropped the ball. But anyway, I hope you all are having a great day. Really, I really hope you all are having a great day because I'm having an awesome day. I woke up this morning. I thought to myself, today's going to be a great day. And we're going to have a great discussion right here on the live stream on JJPB. So we're having that discussion. Another discussion that was brought up to me was, I don't know, everybody's sitting there talking about the 4080 Ti. I have no idea why everybody's thinking the 4080 Ti is going to be the next best thing. Unless they put GDDR7 in the 4080 Ti. I'm not saying the 4090 Ti. I'm saying the 4080 Ti. Unless they're putting the next best thing in the 4080 Ti. Giving it 20 gigabytes of VRAM, GDDR7, upgrading the bus, and doing a whole bunch of things to give it some kind of pizzazz, then, can't really say it's going to be good or bad. Because it seems like that, it looks like for 2024, they're going to be upgrading the 4090 to the 4090 Ti, the 4080 to the 4080 Ti. 4070 Ti is going to be upgraded with VRAM from 12 to 16 gigs of VRAM and whatever they're doing to the 4070. Who knows? And then the 4060 Ti and so on. They're going to create a whole new batch for, I guess, 2024. That's what I've been hearing. The rumors and leaks on this, it's been going on for 2024. So we don't know what they got cooking for 2024. But we can tell you this is what's been leaked to us. And this is what I'm going by right now, because this is all I got to go with. As far as NVIDIA when it comes to their graphics cards. And let's see if our little buddy, popped in for us. Oh, he's 40 minutes out. Okay, we're here. We're here. Live waiting on you. He's 40 minutes out, so we're going to be going up to 6 p.m. So No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. But anyway, but Nvidia has that cooking, just to let you know. So with that going on, I just don't think the 4080 Ti is going to be something that's really going. I'm thinking is, you know, a lot of people are looking at, with Nvidia that, yes, I did switch from CS2 to talking about Nvidia and their new lineup that they're supposed to be rolling out either the end of this year or 2024. Because 2025, it looks like that the rumors have it about 2020. I'm saying 2024 will stay right there. 2024, everybody's saying, to me, why would you spend $1,300 on a 4080 Ti when you can get the 4090 for a couple $100 more, which makes perfect sense? Or, basically, if they're going to start the factor of they're going to do the 4090 Ti at 1600, and then they're going to be moving the 4090 down to 1300, and then, start that waterfall effect. Who knows? It could happen that way. It would be nice to see them to go from the 4090 Ti at 1600 and roll that down and roll down the price of basically roll down the price of all their graphics cards, because people are sitting there saying, why are we going to buy Nvidia cards? Why are we going to buy the Nvidia cards if if they're going to be such high price cards? Is this the reason why AMD's rolling out these lower price cards? Because they can't get it together with their driver software, so they're afraid that they're going to look like they're going wish wash. So they roll out these cheaper end cards, making everybody believe, oh, it's the next best thing. I'll tell you what, from what people have been telling me, the 7800 didn't impress them. The 7800 XT did not impress them. Did not impress them whatsoever. Not even the 7700 XT didn't impress them. That's what I hear, on the street. People are talking about it, and they says, using it with, that new game they come out with. I keep even forgetting the name. That's bad. So, but even with Cyberpunk, they're sitting there saying, it's iffy with Cyberpunk, but they see what, Nvidia has cooking with Cyberpunk, and they rather play Cyberpunk with Nvidia. So, it's not my choice that people make. People make their own choices. I make my own choices by what I talk about on my videos, basically. And when it comes to the live videos, I talk about things that I see that people want to see, that's relevant to the discussion of what's going on now. And people are having these discussions, like people are having discussions about the connector for the 4090. Everybody's having that discussion. The new connectors that Nvidia is supposed to come out with is that the sense pins are supposed to be equal with the power pins. So this way, if you don't plug it in all the way, the sense pins won't engage, and guess what? Your GPU won't engage. It won't put no power to it. So basically, the sense pins cut off that power, then you ain't gonna be able to, turn on your 4090. Now, I'm going to give you a helpful hint. The 4070 came with the 8-pin, or it comes with that 12-pin connector, sense pin kind of thing. Okay, when I chose my graphics cards, I chose the 8-pin. And so far, mine hasn't caught fire yet. And I had this thing running at 208 watts, pulling continuously for hours on hours and hours, and never had a problem. It didn't even melt, didn't even get warm, nothing. So for that to happen, I was very impressed with the fact of what this 4070 does. Even though it's Asus, and I know a lot of people have their problems and issues with Asus because of their warranty issues, and stuff like that. But you know what? If you got a great product from Asus and it has not quit on you whatsoever, and it still keeps pumping out for you, playing your games and everything else, don't give up so lightly. It's more or less like, Gigabyte having the same problems, or MSI having the same problems. All companies have that same problem. You just have to get over the fact. You can't shun one out because, the rest of them do it. When it comes to the warranty and everything, Gigabyte done it one time or another, and so has MSI and every one of the companies that are out there. They shun because of the warranty. That gets corrected over a period of time. So kind of be patient with, when it comes to the warranty with stuff, you can always get it fixed. It's just you got to be more persistent in a nice kind of way for them to do something for you. Okay. You have to be more persistent. Me, I'm persistent. If something goes wrong with my stuff, I call them directly. I say, look, can you help me out? Can you send me a box? Can you get this fixed for me? This is an unopened product. This means it has its warranty sticker on there. This means I have not pushed it. So, can you help me out? If it's defective, they got to fix it. So, you have to understand that too. As long as you didn't beat it up to death, and I always tell everybody, do not beat up to death your graphics card, because you'll wind up not getting that warranty, especially if you're overclocking it hardcore and you're running it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, overclocked. You can't push it that hard. You'll burn up that GPU processor. You'll burn up either that, or you burn up memory chips, or, you got to remember, these are just designed to run 100% at stock originally. Just keep that in mind. They're not designed to go above and beyond unless they make a special GPU for you to go above and beyond. That's the reason why they lock things out. So this way, you guys can see if it's locked or it's not locked, whatever the cost is, man. But you really got to keep that in mind. So let's see. We've talked about CS2 and what's going on with that. We talked about AMD, and everybody not getting, because it, and this is just a follow up on this. I did notice on Graphics Card Nightmares, from going from a month ago to now, the AMD cards, your older models, are going up in price. So they're making do with the price that they got on these newer cards, supported by the older cards. This is not on eBay. This is on, Amazon and all that. So they're getting their money's worth regardless of what graphics card you buy. Now, if they're still having driver issues and everything else, they're not having many driver issues on their integrated graphics. That's the reason why I'm still on their integrated graphics, is because that's the only point that they don't have a problem with. That's because the BIOS controls the integrated graphics, and you don't need to control anything else. It's already been maxed out in the BIOS. It's already set to extreme in the BIOS on an Asus motherboard. Boom, done. I don't have to have that extra software in there controlling it. What, because it does something with the screen? You have display settings. You can fix up your own display settings and how you want it to be displayed. And if you have a memory chip or a chip on your TV or your monitor that you can change how the color and all that noise is supposed to go, you can do that on your monitor or your TV or whatever, and you don't need that extra program in there. What? Because they got certain things that kind of bring up the FPS and everything else. Well, that's the reason why they have display settings in those games. You don't really need that software in there. That's just an extra. That's just an extra to you. But it doesn't do you any good when you play those games and they kind of, have DLL set to turn off those extra things that you have there, and game makers force you to use their display settings. There are some settings that the game makers don't mess with that you can, upclock and everything else with your GPU, but that's only sharpening. It's, that's what I saw, just sharpening. It didn't do anything else for the game except for whatever you put on the game. Whatever display settings you had on the game controlled your FPS, controlled your textures, controlled everything else. I don't get it. Y'all can quote me if I'm wrong about it, and make sure you comment on the right in the comments section. It's live. I'll see it, and that's just my feeling. I mean, they've been doing this for years. They've been doing this for years and years and years and years. So if you're thinking you're getting something extra, you're not. The only extra you get is what game makers put on the games. Game makers control the boat. They control the flow of what you see, what you do on that game. Not how you play the game, but how you see the game. They control that. That's what they control, the textures. They control the visual. They control the audio section of it. So all you do is you put your settings in and how you want to see it, and that's what they give you as a perk. I mean, this factor of, well, I need to overclock on this game because I want it to be better. Does it stutter? If it doesn't stutter, then why go better? Why put yourself in that hand? Why put yourself in that shoe to where you're killing your PC that you just newly built? Killing it because you think there's something better. There isn't. That graphics card will only go to its max, and that's the end of it. It's not going to give you any more or any less. It's actually going to give you crappier results the more and harder you push it, because then it starts pushing the temperature into the red line. The hardest on temperature that I push my graphics card, the max temperature would be about 140 degrees or 60 to 65 degrees Celsius. That's it. I'm not pushing it any harder. I play the games at, with decent temperatures on my graphics card, because guess what? You run it for an hour to 2 hours to 3 hours. You don't want that compounded heat that's trapped around that heat sink to sit there for hours and hours and hours. You're killing those transistors inside on that PCB. Simple. You control it. There's a different story. You control it by lowering it. You get better performance when you keep it at a certain level. Just like the processor, the CPU processor. I keep mine sits down between 131 and 137 degrees Fahrenheit. Still try to keep it around that 60 degrees C mark. That is my midline. That is the threshold I try to keep everything at, is 60 degrees C, which, I try to keep it between that threshold. In between, it floats. So, but I'll tell you, I don't have overheating issues. And I use an air cooler on my processor. I use an air cooler. Nothing's water cooled in my system. My processor's undervolted, but I get great gameplay. I'll tell you, I'm impressed with the gameplay. I really am. I'm really, really impressed on the gameplay, because it gives me all the textures I want with no problem. My system ain't being squeezed to death. And that's what everybody tries to do. They try to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze to get every last FPS that you try to get out of your system. Well, you got to realize that, you got your GPU on one side, and you got your processor on the other side, and you got your system RAM on the other side, and you got your VRAM on the other side for your GPU. They all got to play hand in hand. If you don't have enough of one, then you're not going to have enough of the other. Me, I'm still running a DDR4 board. I'm still happy with that. I am still happy with the fact of running that DDR4 board. It's a B550 Strix motherboard. Back then, about a year ago, you mentioned Strix. Everybody's like, oh my God, you got a Strix? No, that is awesome. How much did it cost? That's all I ever hear. How much did it cost? Back when I got this motherboard, I can say I paid about $160 for it. But you know what? I was tickled to see it down to about $115, $120. That means it was just like, your entry level motherboard. Like the B450. Now they got the B550. B450 was like the $80 value, and then now you get your B550 at the $120 value. Maybe it'll go down to 100. Maybe it'll go down to 80, just like the B450, or the B450 might go down to maybe 60, $50, becoming the real big value. And then you got your B550. Then you go up to your B660, which they should have at about 130, 140, And then you got you go into your 600s, then you go into your 700s. What are they going to do for the 800s? That's going to be the new feature of it all. What are they going to do for the 800s? What do they got cooking for the 800s? Who knows? Maybe they got an 800 out there that I don't know about yet. But if they do, let me know. But I haven't seen one yet. So, but look at it this way. 500, 600, 700 are your most popular boards right now. 5, 6, and 7 are your most popular boards right now. So I'd rather have a 500 motherboard. Yeah, I got an AM4, so it runs great for me. I never have a complaint. My complaint is the fact of watching. This is my complaint. Watching the fact of people doing these benchmarks and saying, well, it's right here, when it's right up here at top, right here at top. You know, it just kills me to see you max out your stock level on your graphics card, but you never max it out into the advanced mode. There's another mode too, you know, seeing what your graphics card can do. There's a fine edge you can take everything to, not the stock edge where you take it up to that level and then you stop. There's another edge that you can take it to and push that fine line, envelope to find out what it really does. You can give me stock level, details, but, you could say, well, for example, well, at stock level, the 7900X or the 7800 XT does better in ray tracing than the RTX 4070. Now, NVIDIA should be asking themselves the question, in stock mode, why is the 7800 XT doing better than the 4070? But when it's in heavy RT mode, that kind of switches around to where the 4070 becomes more dominant than the 7800 XT. I've been hearing that for weeks and weeks, for at least a week or two, that they're saying, well, the 7800 XT is a better deal and this and that. Well, if you watch Graphics Card Nightmares, you would have found out that they had the 4070 with a game at $529 price point, and with the game that's probably $45-50. So guess what? You take the $50, that's that game, and minus that off the price of the graphics card, that brings it down below $500. Do your math. Do your homework. And if you can get that game, that's basically like saying you pay $530 and then you get a free game, but the free game turns out to be a $50 game. So guess what? You saved yourself $50 extra for playing, for paying for that game. It might have been a good game that you wanted. A lot of people are, watching those for them free games. They figure they pay the price for the the graphics card. They might as well get a game with it for free. Always watch out for those game deals. There might be one game that you might want that comes with that bundle. You always get a great deal. And just like, AMD bundling with their GPU Starfield, I was looking on Graphics Card Nightmare and I seen that they stopped bundling Starfield with their graphics cards. Go figure. Why didn't they do it for at least another week? People, it takes 2 weeks for people to get a paycheck. Some people it takes a month. Some people got to wait a whole month for their paycheck. But they didn't figure that. They didn't do it for a whole month. They only did it for a couple weeks and then boom, it's gone. So that's something to keep in mind too. I mean, if NVIDIA is doing one with the 4070, that's probably only going to last a week. It's understandable. It's business. Understandable. But it is out there if you really look. And then, looking back a couple days ago, they had somebody put out there that the AMD put the 7900 XTX on sale for $450. I could not find that for the life of me. I looked for that deal. I looked for that $450 deal to see if AMD actually did it. I could not find it. Could not find it whatsoever. So that's what it flabbergasted me to see that, to find out that, you know, a reviewer puts it out there and says, hey, it's out there, you know, and then, you know, within the matter of what, maybe 3 or 4 hours, it's gone. Wow. It's just like it's there and it's gone. It's just like, you know, scalpers hijacked the damn website, got all they can get, and then they sold out. See, that's what the scalpers are looking for. They're looking for these deals, these low end deals. And once they see it, boom, they got it. And now they're on eBay selling it for twice the amount of what the card's worth, sometimes 3 times the amount. So, you know, but you think that helps the gamers? That doesn't help the gamers. That makes it worse for the gamers. Now that the gamers can't get that deal because somebody scalped it out, it's gone. You can't get that deal. Once it's out there and they disappeared, it's gone. It is gone. It's crazy. It is crazy. So, you know, I just wanted everybody to understand, when the deal is there and you're not going to find, you know, when they put those last minute deals out there, you're not going to find any better deal. When they got half of the price cut off of the card from MSRP, half the price cut off. I mean, you got to do yourself a favor or two when they do that, right? And then everybody encroaches on the fact of and saying, well, you know, and I know I heard this for the longest time when I first started my channel, up to maybe 8 or 9 months later. All I heard was AMD's drivers, AMD, you know, this and that, and all that bad news. And these are coming from many reviewers, and I'm saying reviewers, there's a couple, but not all, but there is a couple that were saying AMD is not the greatest choice in the world, which at that point in time, when it came to back then, it was true. And then now they say NVIDIA is not that, you know, great in price, and, you know, that's true. And now they said, well, AMD's got 2 graphics cards that are just totally phenomenal. And I heard from a couple friends of mine that they're not phenomenal. They're having, you know, let's say blue screen or black screen issues when they go to push the cards. So, and I know these are people that it's, you know, a good source, that are not going to lie to me. These people won't lie to me because I've been friends with them for years. So, simple as that. And that's what I got people telling me. It sounds like secondhand information, but when you've known these people for years and years and years, and you know how they roll with their game, and you know it's going to be a solid source. And yes, they're my insider source. I do have insider sources on different GPUs and everything else, you know, motherboards, you know, all that, 900 yards, because this is all they do day in and day out. This is all they do. So, but they told me, you know, it's not cut up to be what it's supposed to be, you know. But anyway, moving away from that, let's move on down the road towards Intel and the ARC. I know on one of my videos it didn't sound like I was clear on that, but when you know, you got the A750 at $200, you got the A770 at $300, and you got the was it A580 at 179, and then you got the A380 at 99. It seems like Intel has the market cornered on the low end of it all. Especially when they got an A770 at $300 with 16 gigs of VRAM. Even though they're having driver issues and everything else, just like AMD, does not mean that, they can't pick the ball up and fix it. So it's just software that needs to be fixed, not the hardware. The hardware does not need to be fixed. It's the software, and that's what they're trying to fix. So do look at it like that. Once once Intel has ARC just the way it's supposed to be and caught up with everything, everybody will say, wow, I'm glad I picked up an ARC. But then you got people saying on the reviews that they're not doing so great, that they're down by the 10 series cards. Anybody can float numbers, especially if they just run it at low end stock, and just say, well, this is all you get. This is all I'm getting out of the card. Me, on the other hand, I decide when I do my cards, I want them pushed to the max. I want to see the max end of the card. I don't want to see the low end of the card. I want to see the max end of the card. Because if you want to keep looking at the butt end of the card, you're going to kind of looking like the butt end of the card. But when you look at the max side of the card, what it can do, for how long it can do it, and for what temperature and everything else, then you're doing something. Then you're showing the public, hey, this card's going for this many hours. It sounds like it's a solid deal. That's telling the customer, that's telling the consumer out there, when you do public relations to the consumer, you're telling the consumer, hey, this is what's happening. This is what I'm getting on mine. Okay. My card's paid for. Okay. It's bought and paid for. So I push mine to the max to see for how long it will do the max. And that means it does a frequency over 3 gigahertz. All the 40 series does over 3 gigahertz. Nobody touches on that. Back, what was it? Back about 6 months ago, everybody was all over the frequency. The frequency this, frequency this, frequency this. What happened? Now that they're with their regular CPUs that are getting, Intel's, crouching the 6 gigahertz, nobody talks about that anymore. Or they talk about the RAM for the AM5 or for the DDR5 series. Oh, we're crouching 8,000, 9,000 megahertz. Or 9,800 and something mega transfers and whatever else. Who knows? Okay. So, what is that good is that going to do you when the motherboard has its specs and you go to push it beyond the motherboard specs? Do you actually think that RAM's going to work with that motherboard? Come on. Especially when the manufacturer puts the specs out there and they say, do not go over these specs. They don't say, do not go over. They recommend to you, this is the max right there. And if you go over it, you're at your own risk. So, just like they said on this motherboard here, this B550, they say 3,200 megahertz. Guess what? It's 3,200 megahertz. I could have went 36. I could have went 4,400 megahertz. Because, the processor will handle it. And motherboard, I heard is about 38, 39. So taking it to 44, that would have been a waste of money for me. Taking it to 4,400. So that's why I stuck at the 3,200. That right there is, the buffer line. 3,200 and 3,600 is your buffer line when it comes to these motherboards on the B500s. Just letting you know that. So everybody thinks that, pulling it this way, no, you're pulling it too far. You're causing the VRMs to overload, and then guess what? You're going to burn up your motherboard. You're going to be stuck with a brick. Oh, my motherboard won't brick on me and this and that. Yeah. You know how many people I've seen brick their motherboards so far between 2022 and 2023? Oh, a lot of peeps. A lot of peeps. Between 2022 and 2023. A lot of peeps. So it's approaching this 5 o'clock p.m. here at Pacific Standard Time. We got about maybe 7 minutes till we're there. Well, 6 minutes now. So I'm sure Dakota will make it soon. And once he gets here, we'll plug him in. And then we'll roll till 6 p.m. And then after that, we'll have to call it there. But you know how it goes. Anyway, let's move on down the road. I have heard a couple things. And, the one thing that's got me bothered right now is what Microsoft has planned for the future of Windows 12. Turning Windows 12 turning our computers into terminals, like they do at a if you're working for like a corporate or something, you have like a little terminal you're typing on. Turning your computer into a terminal and using their computer as your gaming source and making you pay for it. That's kind of got me troublesome. That's got me kind of worried a little bit. That's basically meaning they're going to take control of your computer. They're going to take control of your software. Everything that you do. That's just basically like just having a brick with, being able to use, the calculator? Or put notes on your computer that they can read that, oh, look at here who just showed up into the stream. Hello there, Mr. Dakota. Hello, Mr. Dakota. Are you?
How are you?
How am I?
Yes.
How am I? I don't know. Talk to me.
I'm here. I'm literally just got home. Just booted up the PC.
Just booted up the PC.
Now I'm gonna click on. You still live, I assume?
Yes, sir. I am still live. I'm trying to.
I don't have my camera right now, so this is gonna be a voice only today.
Yeah, looks like you're gonna be on the microphone today. That's good. It's good. We'll get you on the microphone. It's no big thing. So, we'll get you on the microphone. Well, I've already talked about, I'm going to roll it back so, you know what's going on. I talked about CS2, Counter-Strike 2. Yep. That you probably heard about the fact of with Counter-Strike 2 with AMD's graphics cards, that if you use on the 7000 series or greater, that the anti-lag plus is considered is cheating on CS Counter-Strike 2. So Valve said anybody using anti-lag plus with their 7000 series graphics cards will be on a temporary ban until AMD fixes the problem.
So they're literally banning every single person who's using a compatible AMD processor.
Basically, yes.
What the hell?
Basically, yes, man.
That is the dumbest thing I've heard.
Well, isn't it dumb? I thought it was crazy.
Why do they consider it as cheating?
Because it alters the DLLs. That's pretty much what happens. It alters the DLLs. So with it altering the DLLs, it's what they consider cheating. Anything that alters software is considered cheating.
Okay, but so all sorts of stuff alters. Well, isn't it ingrained into it's the processor, right? Or is it the graphics card?
It's the graphics card. It's the software.
Graphics card, okay.
It's the software for the graphics card. It's the AMD Adrenalin software. So what happens there is with the AMD Adrenalin software, that if AMD alters anything on, any DLLs whatsoever on Valve software, which is Counter-Strike 2, it's a bannable offense. But AMD caused this problem, not the users. They thought it was okay to go ahead and use anti-lag plus. But word got around, and a couple people, they were like, this ain't good. You got a couple people now that can't get on their accounts because for CS2, they can't get on they can't get on at all. So
it's saying here driver version 23.10.1.
Yeah, don't put that in. Save yourself the embarrassment on that.
Well, I don't have an AMD graphics. Well, I do.
Right.
Huh. That is crazy to just think that like a graphics update, like a driver update for your graphics card can just get you banned from games. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that too. A lot of people are kind of saying that.
And yeah, it's like you said, it's because of the DLL, because of it redirecting DLL traffic. I guess a lot of cheaters, like there's mods and cheats for games that do the same thing. So that's why it gets flagged.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the problem lies in anti-lag plus intercepting and redirecting dynamic link library (DLL) functions.
You know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have you call me for a minute. We're going to switch this over. I'm going to have you call me, okay?
Sure. Like on your main Discord?
However.
All right. Good?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the mic source, media source working on my my OBS. For some reason it's not picking your voice up.
Oh.
But my microphone's picking your voice up, so I might have to turn up the power of the mic a little bit so that way everybody's being able to hear you on that.
I don't know why, but my Discord just told me, like, Discord's not getting any input from your microphone. It's like, I'm talking to somebody right now on Discord. What do you mean?
Yeah, I know. Things crazy, right?
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah. They always seem to do that. All right.
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah. Now you notice that it turned it up louder. So.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, at least I can pick up your voice better now,
Yeah. Am I really quiet? Is that my problem?
Well, it's not that. It's just the media source that's on OBS. It might be because I got to restart OBS, but I really don't want to do that.
Yeah, you're already into a live stream.
Yeah.
So you don't want to really.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I didn't want to not start it at 4:00, but I figured, everybody, I put it on there for almost a week, letting everybody know to be on there, and I have it on there for 4:00. I really, I cannot say no to everybody and come on at 5. I really can't.
No, yeah.
So I had to keep the time consistent. I was just waiting for you to come on. You said you were going to be here, but I waited.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sorry. Things happened. It was supposed to be a quick trip, and it turned out into a lot longer of a trip.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine, man. Real life comes first. I already told you this. Real life comes first. That's what it comes down to. Doesn't matter what we do on YouTube or anything else. Life goes on. You got to handle your real life. You got to handle it. You can't say no to it. What am I going to do? You got it going on. I can't do nothing about it. So, I understand.
Well, I appreciate your understanding. And a lot of people wouldn't.
I've been doing the gaming thing for almost 35, 37 years. Okay. I do understand that. Really, I do. Oh. Except for my tip of my finger keeps hitting this microphone like everybody thinks I'm beating them to death in the eye or something. Who knows?
I love it.
But anywho, so tell us the update on this new build that you're supposed to be doing.
Well, are we talking about the black and gold computer I'm building?
Well, the new computer you're supposed to be building yourself to get you up into the next bracket.
Yes. Okay. I have, at this point, I tore the pump and the block apart, and I cleaned them out. The block was actually very clean on the inside for the CPU. I still took it apart and cleaned it with alcohol and appropriate cleaners. Checked the gaskets, make sure the gaskets were still good. I did the same thing with the pump. I took the pump apart. I cleaned off all the acrylic because the previous owner had used white coolant and it left like a white film all over the inside.
Yeah.
So I got all that cleaned out. I personally, when I do my water cooling loops, I personally just use distilled water and then like a biocide. It kills off bacteria in the water, prevents algae growth and stuff like that. And then I whipped up a 3D model of the computer, very rough 3D model of the computer I'm going to be building, and mapped out all of the, like where all the hoses are going to run. So I created a little model of the loop. I can actually tell you what parts I need left to finish the build. I actually sent it to one of my buddies. Have the list.
Do keep in mind you're talking through my microphone, okay?
Okay.
So you can't pull your body away from your microphone. Take your microphone with you.
Oh, that's going to be a problem. All right, I'll try this.
Always stay in front of your microphone unless you're going to take it with you.
Well, here, let me try something.
That's the reason why I got a 6-foot cord on mine, is so that way I can take the microphone with me.
Is this any better?
Yeah, it's fine. It's just when you move away, that's the whole thing. When you move
Oh,
away, your voice not staying consistent. It looks like you're going off into the distance.
that's the problem though with my microphone, with how sensitive I have it set up. I'm only moving a couple inches away from it. That's the problem.
I got my microphone, guys. Look at this right here. You can see on my cam right here. This is how far I got my microphone away from my face. And you tell me how you hear me on the video.
No, you sound good. I just the way my microphone
Yeah.
settings are right now.
See,
They're
yeah. Yeah, I got mine cranked up. I got the boost on 100%. I got the microphone on 100%. It's all boosted up, 100 plus.
I can turn the volume up a little bit more, but that's about it.
Well, no, what it is it's not carrying with your voice. It's not following your voice because you tend to move really quick, and it kind of cuts out your voice a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm doing like the What'd you just say? Yeah, yeah, like that,
I am still like I haven't moved. I am still in the exact same spot. I just looked up at my monitor. Is that all it takes for it to change?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's
Just like now.
give me a second. I'm just going to disable. Okay, I'm gonna go into my Discord settings and
I disabled all that crap too. So,
well, the problem is I have friends who are audiophiles and they get really upset with if they can hear any background noise or anything. So I have my microphone set so not sensitive that set up to 100 automatic. I'll turn on automatically determine input sensitivity, and I'm going to go to voice mod and audio experience. Use background noise. Turn that off. All right. How about this? That's any better?
You're best to take it off auto and set it manually.
On Discord.
Yep. How do you do that anyway? I haven't figured that out neither.
What, for the input sensitivity?
Yes.
You go to your little cog wheel. There's a little cog wheel on your Discord down by in the left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Click on that, and then you go down to voice and video, and then there's a little bar. It's a little green and orange bar that says adjust and determine input sensitivity.
Okay.
Does this sound any better? I switched off a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, talk to me. You ain't gonna tell you any different.
What's up?
Talk to me so that way I can see if you sound any different.
Oh, I can't hear you.
I said, you can't hear me at all?
It was cutting in and out really bad.
Oh, how's that? Is that better?
Are you adjusting your sensitivity bar?
How's that? Is that better?
I can't hear you anymore.
Okay, how's that? Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you right now. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I was adjusting the sensitivity bar. I don't know which way to swing that damn thing.
You move it to the right with the like the farther back you move it, the more. I don't know how to put it. There's like a little bar that bounces. It's like discolored.
Yeah, is it the yellow side or the green side? Am I moving it more to the green or more to the yellow?
Well, you see how when you're talking, you see how like that little gray bar appears?
No, I just got a green and a yellow.
Well, yeah, but the yellow one doesn't it turn kind of brown and then into like a dark green?
No, just stays green or yellow.
Oh. Oh, I don't know what to tell you then, because mine, it literally shows me what my background audio sounds like. So I can move that little white slider past my background audio, and then just pick up my microphone when I talk.
Oh, I see. I got you. So the sensitivity, it's more green.
Yes. The more green showing, the more sensitive it is.
Okay. So 57's really good right there then. That seems to be good right there. I can tell you that much because I'm looking at the meter on the OBS.
Yep, and
Okay.
that's good then. Mine's set to negative 73. But my computer is also really loud, so
mine's at negative 57.
All right. Now I was gonna tell you what parts I needed to finish my build.
Okay, well, continue.
Let me see here. It's a picture of the block. Let's go down a little bit. All right, so I need 9 elbows. Actually, I need 10 elbows. I need 13 compression fittings, 120 millimeter radiator, 240 millimeter radiators. I need 4 more fans, matching the fan I already have, $20 a piece. I need wood for my motherboard that I'm gonna have laser cut by a friend of mine. I need 2 4-terabyte drives. I don't need them both right now. And a water block for my graphics card in hose.
Hey, easy on the hose, man.
That's the second time that joke's been made today. Somebody else made that joke as well. Yeah. Talking about a completely different hose.
Yeah, well, you got hosed, man.
I love it.
Alrighty. Well, that sounds like you're in the right direction. You just need to get those other parts and get the build going on. That's what you need to do. That's what it comes down to, you know?
Well, that's the problem, is finding a 120 millimeter radiator that matches the 240 millimeter radiators that are made of copper and don't cost $1 billion.
Oh, that's where you're going to have a hard time because most of them are aluminum right now.
Yeah, I don't know why. Every time I look at when it looks cool, it's aluminum. And all the copper ones look, I don't know, just don't look nice. Not a style I like.
Right.
OC Cool has nice ones, but they keep putting their logo on the side of it, and it's like a blue logo. Doesn't match my build at all.
Or if you can't find one, then you know what you do is you go to rockauto.com, not a sponsor, by the way, and you go through all their vehicles and see which one of their vehicles, and you get a plastic radiator that'll be about 120, 140 that you can use for usually the heater core that's in the car. You can go that way and get an all plastic one that might be copper and use that might be cheaper because I think they're only going for like 40 or 30 or 40 bucks. So that might be something to think about too. That's what they used to do back in the old days, is they used to take the heater core out of their car and put it in their PC. Some crazy stuff they did back then, though.
Oh, for sure. I'm actually looking at, there's a couple radiators here on Amazon. Drakena, Dracaena.
Yeah.
They have a 120 and a 240 mil. Good reviews, full copper.
From China.
$40. Yeah, but it's a radiator though. I mean, it really doesn't have to be, as long as it doesn't leak,
True.
It's got 32 ratings, 4.4 stars on Amazon.
You know what a friend of mine did? He turned around. He went and got the copper strips, right? He went and got a bunch of copper strips. Mm-hmm. And then he went and got a bunch of copper too. And then
this man built his own radiator.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh! I wish I had that sort of determination. I couldn't do it.
Yep. He built his own radiator and put it all together. And the way he had it set up is that he had it going cooling on two sections. He had two sections going on.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he would make one loop for one section, one loop for another section, and then he would tie them together in the center. That was it. And then he would put each one of those strips. He would take and punch the holes. I guess he was using a hole puncher or something like that.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
And then he punched the holes, and then he slid the the slats on there, and then he took his torch and he just soldered one slat at a time and put each one on.
Jeez.
And then he built a copper shelf for it, and then soldered in the stand for it, so that way it attached to the radiator and all. So
How come he didn't want to just buy it? Like, was there a specific reason why he wanted to do that?
yeah, because he had the copper and it only cost him $10.
Oh. Hey, I never harsh on people for having fun and experimenting with stuff.
Yeah, of course he had the copper. He was going to do it for $10. Why not? I mean, it was soft tail copper, but that kind of copper right there, you can do wonders with it. And people don't understand. You got your rigid copper, which, it takes more to heat it up. And then if it takes more to heat up, then what happens is that you're deflecting the heat away, from what you're trying to heat up and disperse. So if you're deflecting the heat, then it's you're going to waste your time. But if you get what they call soft tail copper, okay, not saying the mounting is got to be soft, but the louvers have to be soft and everything else. And once you solder those in there, that's it. And you hook up a fan right up in front of that. That's all you need. I mean, you'll have the first air-cooled radiator that's cooled by a water tank.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, believe it or not. Which they should have been doing years ago. Instead of using one of those blocks, if you bring the fin coolers closer to the mounting bracket, that's less for heat to travel. It'll travel right to the fins. And if you cool it off with water cooling that you're running through those pipes. And also too, you hook a fan that runs in front of there, cooling it all off. Overall, you're cooling it twice. If you didn't know that.
I never really thought about it like that.
Yeah. Air cool and water cool at the same time. That'd be interesting. Air cool and water cool at the same time. Never been done. People think you can't do it. You buy these $20 regular air coolers, you take out that copper, and then you put in, a clean pipe copper, and then just run it back through the holes and just do the resolder job. Guess what? And put two fittings on the bottom of the loops and run them to a water cooler. You don't even need a radiator at that point. You can just run a reservoir and use the air cooler as your radiator cooler at the same time. sick.
I would have to see it in action. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, if you got a, you know, if you got a water reservoir, a tall water reservoir, and you
Mm-hmm.
got a decent high flow pump, you know, you wouldn't need a radiator because guess what? You're now running it through an air cooler that's running a fan right through there, like you do a regular radiator, but it's doing two jobs at one time, saving you room for extra fans at top, which will siphon the heat out. So you're doing two actions at the same. You're doing actually three actions at the same time. You're getting a wind tunnel going through there, cooling off the whole motherboard, and also too the processor that's around the air cooler, and also too the air cooler is keeping the processor cool by the air cooling going through the fins, on top of you running water cooling through those fins, and that dissipating the heat back to the reservoir, which won't be nothing because guess what? You're running the fan through there and it's dissipating the heat. But somebody would say, well, the water is going to hold the heat in there a little bit longer. Well, yeah, that's when you come up with the pelter system. Get it? And then
Yeah.
and then you put that water block with that cold pelter system, and then you ain't got to worry about condensation. You wouldn't have to.
Fair.
And you're only running the pelter block at 5 volts. So you're running at 1/2 of its power. And you're running another air cooler off of that to dissipate the heat off of the hot side, but it keeps the cold side cold. So all the water that flows through there is just nothing but cold water. So every time your processor heats up, that cold water is just streaming right through there, and the hot air is being dissipated by the fan that's on the air cooler. It's factors. It's how you factor things in.
Yeah.
It's basically time and temperature. It's like if you're cooking in a restaurant, it's time and temperature. It's the same factors. Really, it is. It's just measuring your time and your temperature, how long it takes for the water to heat up to how long it cools off. And then you got to measure the distance between point A and point B to see how hot and how cool one side is to the other. So when it comes back around in the loop, you want it basically at least at a room temperature coming into the pelter system that you would design, to bring it down below room temperature, which that's what you want it to do. Bring it down 4 to 6 degrees below room temperature. So that way you don't have any condensation, on your processor. Eliminate the condensation.
Yeah, so that's one of my scariest things to me about going the pelter route.
Yeah.
I'm so afraid of condensation somehow messing something up.
Well, it won't condensate if you keep it if you control the power of the pelter block. You control the cold, how cold it is or how warm it is. So you can take it down to 2 volts and see how cold it is at 2 volts, measuring the temperature, and then bring it up slowly to 3 volts, to 4 volts, to 5 volts, 6 volts, and so on, and see how cold the temperature gets after this certain time, this certain time, this certain time, this certain time, while measuring how hot it gets at this certain time, A to Z. You get the point?
Mm-hmm.
Your voltage is going to control the temperature to where it won't be too cold, but it won't be too hot in the case. So you don't want it too hot in the case, especially if you're going to be running the block on the hot side on an air cooler and running the cold side, running it through a water loop. You want to be able to control the hot temperature so it's not too hot in the case. So all the ambient air temperature that comes in through your big fans in the front cycles all that hot air out through the top and back, like on my case.
Yeah.
You want it to have like an L shaped, it go into like a loop, go whoosh like this. Go right here, go in. You want it to go in like this and come back out like this. Right out the top or out the back. So you want to disperse all that hot air. You got, let's say, you got 360 millimeter of incoming air from these fans, 360 millimeters of these fans, which I do, 360 millimeters in the front. And then you got 240 on the top and 120 in the back. So you want those three fans to pull all that air up and out, like in one big air tunnel. That's how you keep your motherboard, your graphics card, your processor, your RAM, keeping everything cool. If you have enough static positive air pressure going through there. But if you use negative air pressure, you're kind of restricting the air inside the case, and then you're going to cause everything to heat up. And that's what you want to eliminate.
The science between thermodynamics is just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yes.
But I kind of figured out the thermodynamics. And that's the reason why my processor doesn't go over 141 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's why my GPU doesn't heat up over to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. They both stay at pretty much 140 degrees, which is probably about 60 to 65 C, in between there. So that's where I keep them at all the time. They never thermal throttle, It's always a continuous flow. So no matter how hard or no matter how long I play a game, it's going to keep it right at that mid-level 60 degrees Celsius. And that's what you really want. You want that. Because then your GPU and your processor are going to give you 100%. They're not thermal throttling. So they're giving you that continuous flow. That's what you want, is that continuous flow. You don't want it to go up and then crash down, then come back up. And you don't want to go into what they consider on an oscilloscope into a seesaw mode. You want it into a nice wave pool. You want it to go up and down, but you don't want it to come all the way down. You want it to go right about halfway, come back up, and go down, halfway, come back up, just like that. You don't want it to go all the way down to the bottom. You want to keep a nice, even keel.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want it to go up too high to where it'll kill it, and you don't want it to go down too low where it kills your game. So you want it nice and flowed evenly. And once you get that flow evenly, you're better off. That steady flow. That's what everybody looks for, that steady flow. And you can be playing the crap out of your game like crazy. You wouldn't even notice that the PC's even running. You hear my PC now?
No.
And I got my microphone jacked up 200% too. You see the difference, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like I don't even have fans on this damn thing. The only real fan you guys are going to be hearing, that's my oscillating fan that sits all the way over there on the other side of the room. That's all you're hearing. You're not hearing my computer. And my computer is about maybe, here, watch my hand. That's where my computer is, right there, right here. And this is where I'm at. And my microphone is right there, about 2 feet away. That's it. My microphone is 2 feet away and being up over 200+%, and you still can't hear it. That's sick, isn't it?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's how I got it set up. And these fans are blowing. These fans are blowing at 2,700 RPMs. 2,700. Now, I can prove that these fans are running like that because even the graphics card's running like that. So let's go ahead and do this. Watch this. You hear that fan?
No, I can't hear anything.
That's the graphics card's fans running at max. Isn't that sick?
That's pretty cool. Is your microphone not canceling out any of the background noise though?
No, it doesn't cancel out nothing.
Oh dang!
I have noise canceling off. I have all that crap off. A $10 microphone. Look at this. $10. $10. 12 years ago.
Yeah.
$10.
That's crazy.
And back then, people were like, that microphone sounds like crap. Back 10, 12 years ago, that's what they would say. That microphone sounds really tinny and this and that. And they really were into it. But now, you know what they say? They say, well, you got a microphone that's pretty awesome, even being a cheapie. I say, good. That's just the way it is. It might be a cheapie microphone. I don't have to spend $100 to get a good microphone. You really don't.
That's fair.
Is because the ceramic that's in this microphone here. This is a ceramic microphone. This is ceramic. Isn't that something?
I did not know that. I also really don't understand how microphones work either, though. So,
well, they got many different types of microphone heads. You just got to decide which one you want. Usually, your best sounding ones are your ceramic microphones. Okay. It's been like that for years, getting a ceramic microphone. So, you don't want those compressed. You got ones that are compressed, ones that, are dynamic. You really don't want a dynamic one. Then you'll sound like you're in a barrel. You don't want it compressed because then it'll make you sound like you're back, 50 feet away. You want a ceramic to where it makes you sound like you can sit like this. You know how far away I am from the mic? You can see on YouTube how far away the mic is from over here to here. You'll see that in a couple seconds when it pops up on you. Microphone is there and I'm here. You're sitting on your microphone like this. I'm sitting on my microphone like this. That's the way I like it.
Yeah, fortunately, I'm using a studio mic, so they really like it the closer you are to the microphone.
Yeah, of course. They like you to eat the microphone, too. I ain't eating the microphone.
I'm dieting right now. And last thing I'm pretty sure the doctor told me
is
no mics in my diet.
Yeah, no extra metal.
Way too many calories is what he told me.
Oh, that's what he told you. Way too many calories. Yeah.
Microphones are just too high. somewhere between fried chicken and fried birthday cake.
That's more or less like sitting there getting like saying, you know what, you want to get some fried butter? Everybody be like, huh, fried butter? I ain't never heard of that. Yeah. You ever get deep fried butter?
I've never had deep fried butter, but I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I think it's funny though, in America we take things like Oreos, something that's already fattening and full of sugar, and we're like, let's deep fry it.
Yeah. Deep fried pizza. That's the shiz.
I've never had that. That sounds good.
Deep fried pizza is the shit. It's like getting deep fried macaroni and cheese.
Dang.
But you got to figure when you stuff it with all the. I know we're going off the rail from computers.
We are.
Kind of. We're going to take a couple minutes. We're going to go off of the rails. So this is how we're going to go off the rails. You know what I used to do? I used to make those pizza wedges and turn around. I used to make my own dough and stuff, and I would turn around and make those deep fried wedges, pizza wedges, stuffed with everything you can think of inside there, and deep fry that bad boy. Oh my God, your mouth would be like, I want another one.
Yeah, it sounds incredible.
It is, and some.
One of the things I came up with at the restaurant we used to do when I worked there, I made a dessert. It was tortillas that we would douse with butter and sugar, and then we'd throw it in the oven so that the sugar crystallized and the tortilla shell would crisp up.
Yeah, I know.
It was like it was like eating candied potato chips. It was incredible.
You got to remember, I'm not that far from Mexico. They do that here they make those fried desserts all the time, here. So you can get them,
we do that with cinnamon, like like brown cinnamon.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Oh, I miss those. Those were the good old days because it was kind of savory from the tortilla. Tortillas aren't normally sweet, but you throw that cinnamon and sugar on it and the butter, and you melt it all down. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but you know what? If you're gonna have something like that, you got to get it hand rolled out fresh. You got to get fresh dough hand rolled out.
Well, that was the problem. Is we tried it with the dough, and the dough we used was just a bit too salty.
Well, that's because you didn't use the right kind of dough.
I had to follow. I worked at a restaurant. I had to follow the rules. I couldn't just make my own dough. We weren't allowed to do that. We had to make their dough to their standards.
Wow. Well, at least I had the option to do it at my standards. And there's nothing the owner would say about it because half that menu would have been mine anyway. So that's the way I look at it. Half the menu is mine anyway. So half of it is my creation. So
yeah, that's fair.
They just when it comes to like when they do the Super Bowl games and stuff like that, and they had their bar, they always looked at me every time they had a football game going on. Bar manager always looked at me and said, I need your help again. What the hell? I get out of the deal. Come on, man. Really?
Oh, gosh.
Come on, man. Now I'm starting to sound like Joe Biden. Oh, my God. Stop, man. Come on, man. Oh, my God. Stop. I'm not talking real politics. I'm just going to let y'all know, no real politics here. End of story. Ain't going to deal with what's happening in the world right now because the world goes upside down. And when y'all come to YouTube, that's the last thing you want to see on a PC channel.
Correct.
Politics City. Ain't happening here. PC, get it? Politics City. Ain't happening. That's not what PC means. Does not mean Politics City. Doesn't mean we're talking politics. Means we're talking personal computers. You know, gotta be, correct on everything,
Yeah.
Publicly correct.
Publicly correct.
Yes. PC, get it?
Pretty good. My favorite type of PC is the one I can game on.
Yep, our personal collateral.
Personal collateral is pretty good too.
Yeah. Publicly challenged.
That's what we call all the homies with social anxiety. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. We personally complied to it. Yeah, we got it. Okay. Yeah. And so many names with these these like little digits, you can come up with so many names. It's just like crazy. So crazy. So crazy.
Oh, for sure.
You got anything you want to add to today, or did you kind of just...
What was that? I mean, I missed the big points of today.
Well, it was just basically talking about CS2, AMD, and what I felt about their, their driver series, NVIDIA encroaching on the new TI versions coming out for the end of 2023 to 2024, and on 2025 they're going to come out with the 50 series. 2026 they're going to come out with the 60 series. 2027 they're going to come out with the 70 series, and so on.
Jeez.
That's if they're going to take it that far. That's just a rumor right now. That's not actually like it's going to happen. Now, with the 4090 and the 40 series refresh, if they do that, I hope the heck they say, okay, we're going to separate the actual 40 series from the TI series, and say the TI series, we're going to run at a different price point.
Yeah.
And just say, you know what, we're going to totally revamp it. We're going to run it at a different price point, lowering the price for the consumer, giving them a fighting chance to get a card that they always wanted. Bringing it down to mid-tier prices, but getting top-tier performance. That's what needs to be done. What do you think?
I think that's more than fair.
They've already gotten to the point to where they took most of their cards and said, you're paying top-tier price for mid-tier performance. What they need to do is to give you top-tier performance and to give you mid-tier pricing to low-tier pricing. That's what they need to do.
They won't do that, though, as long as they're on top.
Well, they're still going to be on top with the other versions. So what's the difference?
Well, if they're on top, they're going to charge as much money as they want. That's how it works.
Yeah, but if they wanted to keep their consumers on NVIDIA's side, then they're going to have to make a concession.
Well, you got to remember, too, there are people out there with more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah.
And if they could sell $1,000 card to one person instead of selling 5 $200 cards, they're going to sell the one card.
Yeah. They're going to sell the one card, but, they're going to lose on the concession of those 5. And this is business-wise. They're going to miss on the concession of those 5 of those people saving up again and buying another 5.
But the problem is they don't have to worry about it because the person who bought that one card for 1,000 will just buy the next one for 1,000. That one person makes up for 5 people. They'd rather sell to that one guy than to those 5.
Yeah, but how many times is that one guy going to buy? That's going to be the question.
A lot. He's rich, obviously.
Well, yeah. Well, I've had rich people tell me, well, they're only going to buy like the most 3 cards, 4 cards, and then they're satisfied. But then you got the 99% people out there that are buying the lower tier cards, but you're making more profit off of the lower tier cards is because your price point, if you're making the cards, let's say they cost you $25 to make, okay, and you're getting charged $25. So you're taking a $25 card and selling it for $1,000. I can understand the price point with that. But if you're taking that and you're selling it for a $200 card and you only pay $25, you're still making a profit. You're still making 3 times the amount. And that's the problem with people in business, is that they want more than 3 times the amount. They want 6 times the amount. But what they don't understand is that's when the government comes in there and says, the more customers that you have buying your cards, the more you're going to pay taxes on. And this is something nobody knows about. Well, some people do, but some people don't. That, when you sell to individual customers, you have an individual tax rating. And the more people that buy from you, the bigger your taxes become as a business. So they base it upon how much you've sold and how many that you've sold to get you an actual tax bracket. Makes sense?
I don't know, man. Politics are a bit much for me.
Yes. Politics are when it comes to money politics, then you got something that you're looking at, a whole different bag of ball of wax. Especially when you got dividends out there, you're making money off end of the dividends, that the money that you're reinvesting into the company and making money off of that dividends, but that dividends is paying you out, and plus you're paying back into the company with partial of those dividends, but using the rest of it to pay off your employees, your cost, and everything else. What are you actually paying for when you get graphics card? Make nothing. You think they're in business to lose money? No, they're in business to make money. So in order for them to make money, they turn around, they invest in all these other little things that makes them a continuous cash flow. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It gives them a continuous cash flow that they don't have to pay taxes on. This is where the government's mad about, to where they're reinvesting back into the business, but they're not having to pay taxes on it because the capital is going right back into the business, which is the capital. So, crazy, ain't it?
Yeah. Money's crazy, man.
Not unless you got PayPal. Then the government says you make over $600 in on PayPal or anything like any kind of these credit card kind of things. Where you pay in and you get paid back, and people pay you and pay you back and stuff like that. Any money transaction, you're going to be audited. And that's what the government says. So in order for you not to be audited, you need to play with cash only. That's what they say. So,
yeah.
So if you're just using cash only, then that's a different story. But if you're getting paid, certain amount per month, and they figured $600 per month, there ain't nobody in their right mind in this world only makes less than $600 a month to pay their bills when their rent costs them like $1,200 a month, and then their electricity costs them $500 a month. There's no way that you can say that that $600 threshold that you're not going to stay under. There's no way possible. So It's crazy. It's crazy how you got to look at it now. But like I said, when they come up with that digital money, then it'll be a little bit different to everybody, because now the government has full control of your money. And what can you do with digital money? Absolutely nothing if they turn your account off on you and tell you got to wait a certain time in order to use your money in your account. Simple as that. If they take away all the cash in the world, all the cash in the United States, and say now we're on digital currency, which it's coming, then they have the right to say, well, you're like a little 2-year-old child. You have a certain allowance per month, and it's determined by how much your rent cost, how much your water cost, and your public utilities and stuff like that, because they'll base it on that. And then they say you only get that $100 more per month for your living expenses. I'd like to see that happen. It's coming. It's coming. So
I'm sure. We are getting into politics, so we don't do that here.
No, I was talking about money, not politics.
Oh, you were talking about them controlling the money.
Oh, yeah. True.
I'm just saying, I just feel people, they might get mad about that kind of stuff.
No, there's nothing to be mad about. I mean, it's just words.
No, I'm with you 100%, man. I don't care.
It's just words, simple as that. But getting back to the PC running,
I actually have some info. While we've been here doing this, I bought radiators. So I now no longer need 3 radiators. I bought them all on eBay used.
Used.
Yep. Well, open box. So, let me see here. My eBay.
Oh.
Yep, I'm going to verify I'm in fact a human. Please click images containing something you can write. It's a computer mouse with a bunch of cameras here. Alright. Continue with Google. Sign in with this account. Wow, that was painful.
Yeah, it's more painful is when you start talking to yourself like I do on the microphone. Then people think that you're weird.
Purchase history. I'm just reading what I'm seeing in front of me. Alright, so all the radiators I bought are EK.
Okay.
2 of them are open box, so they're still in the box. They were bought for a project. The guy decided to go a different route. The other one was bought by somebody else and then returned to the store that it was bought from, and now the store is selling it as a open box item. It says here that it may have minor scratches or dings, but it's overall in good condition.
Oh, it's overall. It might be in minor okay condition.
Well, it says it's in good condition. Overall good condition.
Oh.
So the one radiator is going to be hidden in the front of my case.
Right.
So if that one has some scratches or something on it, I don't really care. And the 2 that you can see are still in the bubble wrap, still in the box. So.
Oh, I got you.
Yep. I bought EK Classic Streams. Or Cool Stream Classics. One's a PE, and then the other 2 are PSs.
Oh. Public entry and public consolidation or public stress.
I have no idea. It is just how EK names their radiators.
Personal exercise or, public stress. Just thinking out loud, man. It's all good. All right.
I'm thinking about... Oh, go ahead.
No, you first. Go ahead and say what you got to say.
I'm looking at water blocks now for my graphics cards, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to water block the 3090 EVGA or the MSI version.
You should do it close to what your graphics card is. Never do it to what it's not.
Wait, what do you mean?
They're specifically designed for certain graphics cards.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying, I'm trying to find a For the Win 3 edition block for the EVGA one, or an MSI Trio block for my MSI one.
I'm sure they got them out there, Sure they got them out there, so.
Yeah, EK has one. It's $400 though.
Get one, get a cheap one for a test run just to see how it's going to work. And if it's really going to work, the way I do it is you get one that's a cheapie and you try it on there. And if it works really well, then you save up for the right one that you want and then switch them over. Simple.
The problem though is the cheap one's still $190.
Yeah, you got that right. It's not going to get any better.
No, and I want a black one. I don't want like one of the clear ones. And all I can find are clear ones.
Wow. All right, we got about 2 minutes left. So is there anything else you want to say up on here?
Nope. All I'll say is I hopefully have more progress on this computer by the time we roll around next week.
Yeah, well, hopefully you'll be on for 2 hours next week.
Yeah.
So it's all
That's
good.
the goal.
Yeah. Seems like, the concurrent viewers that we got right now and the chat rate is still sitting at 0-0, but we'll get there. It takes time. You know it takes time. I know it takes time. We all know it takes time.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And this is a fairly new thing too. So we have kinks we gotta work out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, like the microphone situation. And I gotta remember to plug you in before, we get it all up and started.
Well, I had to be here before the video starts too.
Yeah. I pretty much had to have all the media sources set and everything before we started.
Yeah.
But that's the talk for the next time on that video, I guess. And you all know what time it is now. It's almost. We got about 30 seconds, but I'm going to say like this. If you got to the end of this video and you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe to the video. Make sure you throw some positive likes over there to Dakota for coming in and, doing what he's doing. And also, too, some positive likes to the channel. So this way it lets YouTube know that we need to be out there. And also, too, all the new subscribers that just subscribed to the channel, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the community. And the veteran subscribers, as always, you know I always say it. Much love to you for all that you do. But until the next time in the next video, everybody, this will be JJ and Dakota. We will see you on the next